ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। शुक्लांबरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर्गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः। गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां हितये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। अपार करुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्रीचन्द्रशेखरेन्द्रगुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वहं। सद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। In the Panchakosha Viveka, we are seeing about Vijnanamaya Kosha. So briefly, what is Vijnanamaya Kosha? Vijnanamaya Kosha can be equated to the driver of a car. The car as a whole moves from one place to another, but other parts of the car cannot think. There is only one thinking person in that car. There should be at least one thinking person in the car who is going to be the driver. So that driver is the karta. He is called the doer of an action. So he is the karta. And that driver without any engine cannot communicate with the car. Even though driver is there and a car is there, there has to be a medium for communication, right? And that communication in the car, it is an engine which is called as an agent. But in our body, in our life, that agent, that communication means is our manas or our mind. So Vijnanamaya Kosha thinks, Vijnanamaya Kosha decides to do something, and Vijnanamaya Kosha cannot do it by itself. So it has to use our body. And Vijnanamaya Kosha communicates with our body. Our body is Annamaya Kosha through the mind, which is Manomaya Kosha. And Annamaya Kosha is the one which performs the action. Just like how the car is the one which is moving. But a car, an engine, a driver, all of these three is not enough for the car to move. The car also needs a fuel to move, which is different from the driver, engine, and the car. In the same way, for our Annamaya Kosha to work, it needs a fuel which is provided by the Pranamaya Kosha. If the Pranavayu does not exist, then the body cannot move. Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana, these are called as Pancha Pranas. And previously we have seen each and every prana has got its own function. One prana, it decides, digestive energy is a prana. The body is there, but if the food is not digested, then it's not going to help the body. So the Pranamaya Kosha fuels the Annamaya Kosha, which communicates with Vijnanamaya Kosha through the mind, and it is the Vijnanamaya Kosha which acts as the Chetana, which acts as the conscious entity in these four. In these four, Vijnanamaya Kosha has got a lot of consciousness. Vijnanamaya Kosha is very close to consciousness. And previously also we have seen that the consciousness of the Vijnanamaya Kosha is not its original consciousness. Vijnanamaya Kosha is also an Achetana Vastu. And Vijnanamaya Kosha derives its consciousness from the Atma Vastu, which is the original consciousness. Vijnanamaya Kosha acts as a mirror that reflects the consciousness of Atman. More about reflection we are going to see today. But no up until this, that Vijnanamaya Kosha, because it is very, very close to Atman, it reflects the consciousness of the Atman. Up until that we have seen before. And here Adi Shankaracharya is going to say that Vijnanamaya Kosha itself is not your Atman. Even though when we say Jiva Atma, people normally refer to Vijnanamaya Kosha. Even though when we say, if somebody dies, he goes from this loka to Swargaloka, he goes from this loka to Vaikuntha, he goes from this loka to, Shivaloka. It is normally people talk about Vijnanamaya Kosha. It is only this Vijnanamaya Kosha which goes from one loka to another loka. It is this Vijnanamaya Kosha which carries all the Punya Papa, all the karmas. It is this Vijnanamaya Kosha that acts as a bridge, that acts as a connecting tool between two janmas. Just like how a USB can act as a connecting tool between two computers. I can copy all the data from one computer to the USB, and then I can put in the USB to another computer, and then I can download all the data from that pen drive to the another computer. In the same way, we all have that USB drive. We all have that pen drive onto which all of our karma is recorded. Our body is like that computer. Our Vijnanamaya Kosha is like that pen drive. All the karma is being recorded in that pen drive. And when we get another body, this pen drive, it is this pen drive, it is this Vijnanamaya Kosha that goes from this body to another body. Just like how a pen drive that goes from one computer to another computer, all the data is recorded onto that pen drive. In the same way, all of our karma is recorded onto our Vijnanamaya Kosha. But Acharya here says, even this Vijnanamaya Kosha is not your original self. Why? He is going to say in the shloka, Atonayam Paratma Syat Vijnanamaya Shabda Bhak Vikaritvat Jadatvaschа Parichinnatva Hetutaha Drishyatvat Drishyatvat Vyabhicharitvat Nan Nityo Nitya Ishyate. Because of all these reasons, this Vijnanamaya Kosha is not the real self. What are the reasons? Vikaritvat. Vikaraha means ever changing. Our Vijnanamaya Kosha ever changes. Why? Because we did not have that innocence that we once had when we are 1 year old. As we grow, as karma gets into this Vijnanamaya Kosha, our original self itself changes. Like child prodigies, they don't come to this universe with a clean slate. Now, we come to this universe with a relatively clean slate, but child prodigy, the Purva Janma Vasana of playing piano, the Purva Janma Vasana of mathematical knowledge, the Purva Janma Vasana of identifying raga, it always gets carried from one Janma to another Janma, and that makes a permanent mark onto their Vijnanamaya Kosha. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, hey Arjuna, for a person who is in the pursuit of moksha, we all are in the pursuit of moksha. We want to get moksha. But for one reason or the other, if the person, because of karma, if that person has to die before obtaining moksha, you don't have to worry, Arjuna. You don't have to start from the beginning. Why? Because all the knowledge that we have gained up until that point is etched on to our Jivatma, is etched on to the Vijnanamaya Kosha, and then from the next Janma, it is like pass in that computer. People playing computer games, they will know. He will have 3 lives. Each player will have 3 lives. If one life dies, he does not have to go from the beginning, but there will be a point. If he has crossed that point, if that person dies in the computer game, if he has taken another life, instead of playing from the beginning, he will be playing from that certain point. In the same way, Arjuna, even for those people who were in the pursuit of moksha, and for some reason they die before obtaining moksha, don't worry, nothing will go to waste. When you are getting the next janma, you can, start from that past point, says Krishna and Bhagavad Gita. That is why we will have a lot of people, even when they are young, they can understand the concepts of Viveka Chudamani. While we, even if we are a little bit older, we will be struggling to understand the concepts. Why? Because they would have undergone all these trainings in their previous janma. For Ramana Maharishi, if he attained self-enlightenment in the age of 15 or 14, how is that possible? He has not undergone any, proper Vedantic training, proper Vedantic teaching. Then how he would have attained, that jnanam? It is because of his Purva Janma Vasana. So the Vijnanamaya Kosha changes depending upon our experience. The Vijnanamaya Kosha changes, and that is referred to as by Vikaritvat. Vikaraha means changing. Even in Lalita Sahasranama, we saw this name for Ambal as Nirvikara. There we saw Asti Bhati, Asti Jayate Vartate Viparinimate Apakshiyate Vinashyati. These are called as Shad Vikaras, and as Paramatman, it does not have any Vikara. We saw there. So we all have to connect. The reason for Lalita Sahasranama being very, very favorite of Vedantin is because it encompasses all these concepts into that. So Vikaritvat is the first reason, because it is ever changing. Jadatvat, Jadavastu means unconsciousness. Previously, in the last slide, I said that Vijnanamaya Kosha itself is what gives consciousness to the body. But here in this shloka, Acharya is saying Vijnanamaya Kosha is Jadavastu. It is an inert vastu. It does not have any consciousness. How to understand that? Our previous example of Gulab Jamun and sugar. Gulab Jamun does not have its original sweetness, but it borrows sweetness from the sugar. In the same way, our Vijnanamaya Kosha does not have its own consciousness. It only borrows the consciousness from the original Atman, which is Chaitanya Swarupam. That is why Vijnanamaya Kosha is called as Jadavastu. Remember, Vijnanamaya Kosha is the part of our Sukshma Sharira. Our Sthula Sharira is made up of Sthula Panchabhutas, and our Sukshma Sharira, it is made up of the Sukshma Panchabhutas. Hence, Vijnanamaya Kosha is a Jadavastu. And Parichinnatvat, Vijnanamaya Kosha, it is limited. Why do we say Vijnanamaya Kosha is limited? It is simple. There can be several explanations for this. But let us say our favorite example of Gulab Jamun and sugar. I will melt probably 1 kilogram of sugar in order to make that sugar syrup. But that Gulab Jamun will be 50 grams. And when I soak that Gulab Jamun onto that sugar syrup, even though there is 500 grams of sugar in total, that one piece of Gulab Jamun cannot absorb all the sugar onto it. That Gulab Jamun, only depending upon its size, it can absorb. For some reason, maybe, if we see Rasagulla and all, when we put it into sugar solution, it will expand. But it cannot expand to occupy the whole sugar solution, but it can only expand to a certain extent. So even though there is a lot of sugar, the Gulab Jamun can only soak up so much sugar. Even though the sunlight is so big. And if I have a small mirror, the Navaratri, the Chinnada Navaratri Kudukarthukine or Kannadi Vachirpa, Navaratri Varapur, the Navaratri is going to come. And in India, people will give that very, very small mirror. We cannot even see our full face in that mirror, but people will give that mirror for Shastra. Even though sun is huge, and if we are using this mirror to reflect that sunlight, how much sunlight this mirror can reflect? This mirror can only reflect so much sunlight. It is the size of the mirror. It cannot reflect the whole sunlight. Just like how that small gulab jamun cannot soak up all the sugar. In the same way, even though the Atma Vastu is ever present, it is ever, it is always present, unlimited. But because of the limitations of Vijnanamaya Kosha, it seems to place a limitation on Atman. Because of the limitations of Vijnanamaya Kosha, it seems that Atman itself is limited. Parichinnaha means limitation. Aparichinnaha, Deshakala Parichinna. We say in Lalita Sahasranama, Desha Kala Aparichinna. Aparichinna, not limited by Desha and Kala, space and time in Lalita Sahasranama. Here, Vijnanamaya Kosha is limited. It has got a certain capacity. Only it can reflect Atman up until its own capacity. It cannot, reflect the entire Atman. Just like how that small mirror cannot reflect the entire sunlight. So that is another reason that Vijnanamaya Kosha is not Paratma, is not this. It is not its original self. Then Drishyatvat. What is Drishyatvat? Because we can observe this Vijnanamaya Kosha is limited. Vijnanamaya Kosha is not the original Atma Vastu. What is meant by because it is visible? What is meant by because it is an object? Drishyatvat means it comes to us an object. We have seen this Drishyatvat in all the koshas. Always remember, a cell phone can take the image of everything inside that room except for that cell phone. The subject can never be an object. Subject is always a subject. Subject can never be the object. It is this Atma Vastu which observes the Vijnanamaya Kosha. So, Drishyatvat. Drishyatvat. Drik means the seer. Drishya means the seen. There is a beautiful text called as Dridrishya Vivekaha, said to be written by Adi Shankaracharya or Vidyaranya Swami of Sringeri Sharada Peeth. That book is called as Dridrishya Viveka, a very logical, logical statements of whatever that is Drik, whatever that is Drishya cannot be a Drik. Whatever that is an object cannot be a subject. So Drishyatvat and Vyabhicharitvat. What is meant by Vyabhicharitvat? Vyabhichari moves from one person to another person. In the same way, this Vijnanamaya Kosha is always moving from one body to another body because it is constantly moving, because it constantly changes its companion. It is called as Vyabhicharitvat because of its constant change, and this Vijnanamaya Kosha is not the real Atman. Up until now, we have seen the Vijnanamaya Kosha. We have seen Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya. We have seen what is Anna, Prana, Manas, and Vijnanam. And we have also seen why our own self, why our real self is not Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, and Vijnanamaya. What is left in there? What is left is the Anandamaya Kosha. And before going into Anandamaya Kosha, we have to see some introduction, because as we move into, as we move towards Atman, it becomes more and more subtle, and it becomes harder and harder to understand. So I have to give a little bit of introduction. I have to give, lot of examples in order to make you guys, in order to make the subject understandable before going to the shloka. So before going into Anandamaya per se, let us see some physics. Now it is summer time. We all, when we want to go out, we all are wearing some sunglasses. Do we know how that sunglasses work? That sunglass is called as a polarized sunglass. What it does is that it can only allow certain wavelengths to go through the sunglass, and certain wavelengths of sun, certain wavelengths of sun rays gets reflected off the surface. It is a glass. Normally, we will think a glass as a transparent entity. A mirror reflects whatever that falls, whatever light that falls onto the mirror, the mirror will reflect. On the other hand, a glass will allow most of the light that falls on it. But these polarized sunglasses, how it will work? It works in such a way that only it allows certain light to go through it. It allows certain light to get reflected off its surface. So the first concept that we need to understand is a certain object will have a certain capacity to reflect only a certain things that falls onto it. That certain object will have capacity to reflect only a certain things that falls onto the surface. Can you give me another example? Okay, if I tell this example, it will be little bit more clear. I also have another example that comes later, then it will be even more clear. What is fire? Fire is a combination of two things, heat and light. Only when heat and light are present, we will say there is a fire. Our coil, some of the North American homes will have a coil, as a cooking media. We don't call a coil as a fire because it only has, most of the time it only has light, it only has heat. Only when you crank up it more, crank up crank up the energy, it will give some of the light, but we don't call it as fire because it is not always heat and light. On the other hand, the small lamp that we have, even though it will not evaporate water, we will call it as fire, a Merigavati or that lamp that we light, in our home puja room. We call it as fire because it has got both light and heat. So light and heat are the nature of fire. Light and heat are not attributes of fire, but heat and light is the nature of fire. There is a difference between nature and attribute, which we will see later. But remember that heat and light is the nature of fire. What happens when I put water on top of fire? I have fire and then I'm going to I'm going to boil some water onto the fire. When the water is boiling, even though fire is both heat and light, water only absorbs the heat portion of the fire. Water will not absorb the light portion of the fire. If I touch water, it will be hot, but water is not going to glow. My fire will glow. My fire will both glow and it is going to be hot as well. But when I heat water in that fire, water can only give out heat from the fire. Water does not have capacity to reflect the light of the fire. Right? So water is a substance, fire is another substance. When water comes in contact with fire, water can only reflect the heat of the fire. Water cannot reflect the light of the fire. On the other hand, if I put a piece of iron onto a fire, the kollam patrakkelam pona, they will be heating that iron in order to mold that iron into different shapes. When we heat iron on the fire, iron can reflect both heat and light. If you have any question, just touch that hot iron, it is going to be hot. But iron will also give out a glow, which is the light aspect of the fire. Iron gives out the heat aspect of the fire. Iron also gives out the light aspect of the fire. Why am I saying all these things? I'm trying to convey the point that whenever an object is in contact with another object, that object can reflect some of the nature of the another object, and it does not necessarily reflect all the nature. It can choose, just like how water chooses, just like how, water chooses means what? It is the nature of water to reflect only heat and not light, but it is the nature of iron to reflect both heat and light. Please keep this concept, very, very firmly in mind. We will be using this concept entire Viveka Chudamani. Now, let us come to Atman. What is Atman? Atman is Sat Chit Ananda Swarupam. Sat Chit Ananda are not an attribute of Atman, but Sat Chit Ananda are the nature of Atman. Just like how fire, just like how heat and light are the nature of fire. In the same way, Sat, Chit, Ananda are the nature of Atman. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, says Upanishads. So Sat, Chit, Ananda are the nature of Atman. What is Sat, what is Chit, what is Ananda? Again, we are going to see these things elaborately later. For now, I am going to translate Sat as existence. What is meant by existence? This computer is existing. I exist in this universe. I am not like an unicorn. Unicorn can only exist in our mind. Unicorn does not have a real existence in this world. But I exist, this chair exists, this laptop that is front of me, they all exist. So they all have some Sat in them. Sat, Satta means existence. Existence in all the three times, past, present, and future. That is the Sat, that is the Sat nature of Atman. What is Chit? Chit means the consciousness aspect of Atman. I not only exist, but I am also consciousness. I am also conscious of my own existence. This chair exists, but this chair does not have consciousness of its own existence. But I exist, and I also have, I am also conscious of my own existence. So Sat means existence, Chit means consciousness, Ananda, for now, let us translate Ananda as happiness. We will change the definition later, but for now, we will define Ananda as happiness. So Atman, the nature of Atman is Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Existence, consciousness, and happiness. Now we have to see, when iron comes in contact with fire, iron can reflect the heat nature of fire and light nature of fire. When water comes in contact with fire, water can only reflect the heat nature of fire and not the light nature of fire. In the same way, when these panchakoshas, what are the panchakoshas? Annamaya kosha, pranamaya, manomaya, vijnanamaya, and anandamaya. They all, when they come in contact with Atman, not all the koshas can reflect all the nature of Atman. Some koshas can reflect only some of the nature of Atman, and some koshas cannot reflect the other nature of Atman. What are they? Annamaya kosha. Annamaya kosha exists. I am here. Whatever my weight is, I am here. I am visible for everything. I am not like an unicorn who can only exist in somebody else's imagination. I exist physically in this universe. So I reflect this body, this Annamaya Kosha, reflect the Satu nature of Atman. Satu means existence. But this body does not have a Chitu of its own. This body cannot reflect the consciousness of the Atman. How do I know? A dead body cannot be conscious. Even though dead body exists, dead body reflects the Satu nature of Atman. The dead body cannot reflect the Chit nature of Atman because it is the nature of Annamaya Kosha. We cannot ask why. Why does only water reflect heat and not light? It is the nature of water. In the same way, Annamaya Kosha reflects the Satu nature of Atman and not the Chitu nature of Atman, and certainly not the Ananda nature of Atman. Take Pranamaya Kosha next. Pranamaya Kosha and Manomaya Kosha, they both, again, they can only reflect the Satu nature of Atman. What is the Satu nature of Atman? They all exist. Annamaya Kosha exists throughout, at least throughout my lifespan. Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, they all exist. So they all reflect the Satu nature of Atman. But again, my Pranamaya Kosha and Manomaya Kosha cannot reflect the Chit Swarupam of Atman or the Ananda Swarupam of Atman. However, the Vijnanamaya Kosha reflects two things. Vijnanamaya Kosha can reflect the Satu nature of Atman because it exists. The Vijnanamaya Kosha can also reflect the Chit nature of Atman because I have said previously, that's why we said this Gulab Jamun example and Gulab Jamun or sunlight example, just like how the moon reflects the sun's light, in the same way I said the Vijnanamaya Kosha reflects the consciousness principle of the Atman. So Vijnanamaya Kosha can reflect both the Satu, the existence nature of Atman, and the Chitu nature of Atman. However, Vijnanamaya Kosha cannot reflect the Ananda nature of Atman. If we come to Anandamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha now can reflect the Satu nature of Atman because Anandamaya Kosha exists, but it also reflects the Anandamaya nature of Atman. It also reflects the Ananda Swarupam of Atman. Only Anandamaya Kosha can reflect the Ananda Swarupam of Atman. Only Vijnanamaya Kosha can reflect the Chit Swarupam of Atman. But all the Pancha Kosha can reflect the Sat, existence principle of Atman. We have to be very, very clear. Just like how water can reflect only the heat of fire and not the light, in the same way, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, they all can only reflect the Satu nature of Atman. They cannot reflect either Chit or Anandamaya Swarupam of Atman. And Vijnanamaya Kosha has got two functions. It can reflect both Sat and Chit. Anandamaya Kosha can reflect both Sat and Ananda Swarupam of Atman. So what is Anandamaya Swarupa? Anandamaya Kosha. What is Anandamaya Kosha? Anandamaya Kosha is that thing with which we experience Ananda. Just like how Vijnanamaya Kosha is that object with which we experience consciousness, in the same way, Anandamaya Kosha is that thing which reflects the Ananda Swarupam of Atman, with which we experience the reflected Ananda Swarupam of Atman. Now, another question comes. I am not Anandam. I am not happy all the time. But my Ananda Swarupam remains with me all the time. but I am not happy all the time. Why? I will be so happy if somebody gives me gulab jamun, but I will not be happy if somebody forces me to eat bitter gourd. So if Anandamaya Kosha remains with me all the time, like Annamaya Kosha only is present with me when I wake up. When I sleep, I don't experience Annamaya Kosha. But Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, and Anandamaya, I always experience. If that being the case, if Anandamaya Kosha can reflect the Ananda nature of Atman, then I have to experience that Ananda all the time, but I don't. What is the reason? The reason is that the reflecting medium, depending upon the quality of the reflecting medium, the quality of the reflected light changes. For example, I have bright sun and I have a mirror. I have a new mirror and I have an old mirror. The new mirror is so fresh, so polished, and an old mirror is covered with dust. Even though light source is there, even though mirror is there, because the new mirror is fresh, new mirror does not have any other impurity, it can reflect the sunlight very much. But the old mirror, even though the mirror exists, even though the rasam, even though that coating that they use to reflect light, that also exists, but because of the impurities that are present in the mirror will lose its ability to reflect the light. So the reflected light also depends upon the quality of the mirror. In the same way, when my Anandamaya Kosha presents only by itself, without any contact with the other koshas, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, I will experience more Ananda. When do I experience more Ananda, uninterrupted Ananda? During my deep sleep state. During my deep sleep state, I experience uninterrupted Ananda. That is why when somebody, wakes you up the next day and asks you, how did you sleep? If we have slept nicely without any dreams, we will say, hey, I slept peacefully. The best time of my lifetime is sleep. Even though I am a pauper, even though I have a lot of health problems, even though I am mentally challenged, because if I have a lot of health problem, it affects my Pranamaya Kosha. If I am mentally challenged, it is going to affect my Manomaya Kosha. Mentally means what? Emotionally challenged. But if I have a lot of pain, it is going to affect my Anandamaya Kosha. Even though all the 4 koshas I have problem, when I have my deep sleep state, because all these koshas are potentially absent in my dream, in my deep sleep state, because my Anandamaya Kosha does not have any impurities of Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, and Vijnanamaya. That is why for us, the pleasure, the happiness that we get from our deep sleep, it is going to be always 100%. All the other happiness that we experience, the happiness that I experience by eating a gulab jamun, a happiness that I experience by going to Niagara Falls, the happiness that I experience by seeing somebody, they all are temporary, because I am in contact with these koshas. So whenever this Anandamaya Kosha exists in itself and we have a state, during our deep sleep state, this Anandamaya Kosha is untainted by the remaining 4 koshas, we experience the maximum happiness, 100% happiness. But as more Annamaya, Pranamaya, and Manomaya, and Vijnanamaya Kosha impurities, as they fall on to the Anandamaya Kosha, Just like how a mirror with a lot of impurities cannot reflect light properly, in the same way, the Anandamaya Kosha, even though the consciousness Atma Swarupam is always there, even though my Anandamaya Kosha is also there, but because of my impurities, because of my connection with the remaining four koshas, I don't experience Ananda all the time. That is going to be what Adi Shankaracharya is going to say in later shlokas. And of course, he is going to finish the Anandamaya Kosha teaching with a statement that this Anandamaya Kosha is not your real Swarupa because of the following reasons A, B, C, D, E. All of that we will see in the next class. Harihi Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम शांति 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 श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम।